Unless I had believed, be the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Be the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord. He does not salvation, and he shall strengthen that heart. Wait on the Lord. He does not salvation, and he shall strengthen that heart. Wait on the Lord. Feel good, but wait on the Lord.
Good morning, everyone.
He shall strengthen that
It's
heart.
11 o'clock
He shall
and
strengthen that heart.
we are starting right away. But before we proceed, please, if you're on the call, try and tell everyone that we are live and we are going to be starting the session because today's session is going to be amazing. If the previous sessions have been amazing, today's session is going to be more amazing. So please let's invite everyone that needs to be on this call. We are just 8 right now. So let's increase the number so we can start um, immediately. And our speakers are already on this call. They're already on the call. So let's just invite everyone. If you are here and you are a leader in your team or your thematic group, go to your group and paste it there that we are live and we're starting immediately. We're starting now. So I'm looking forward to these numbers going up. So let me just give us some minutes to do that. I think we'll start by 11:05. Thank you.
My word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I have sworn and I will perform it, that I will keep thy righteous judgments. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. A light unto my path. I am afflicted very much. Quicken me, O Lord, according unto thy word. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I erred not from thy precepts. Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path, a light unto my path. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land. And verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Delight thyself also in the Lord, the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Stand the Lord, wait patiently for him.
Hi, Mercy. I don't think we can hear you. Mercy, can you hear us? We can't hear you. Okay, good morning, everybody. I will just take over until Mercy can fix um her microphone. I'm sure we're all well, and I can see that we already even have our speakers online. So thank you so much for joining early to just showcase the commitment that they have to us as a community. I saw some of you come into the class a bit late. Um, and also the class is not in full capacity. So if you can go into your thematic groups and encourage your peers to join in, also at the same time, you can go into the main group chats and just encourage everybody to join the session. It would be amazing. I just want to say, first of all, congratulations to each and every one of you guys that have made it to week 5. Just want to see an emoji in the group chats, claps, love hearts, whatever emoji you can give. I just want to know that you're there. Just give me something to let me know that you're excited as well for making it to the last week of training, because from next week we're only going to be doing capstone project and that's it. And we're done, and you should be receiving your certification after that. So who is excited? I'm not seeing any emojis. I'm not seeing, I hope everybody can hear me. So I'm not also suffering the issue that you can't hear me. Please, I want to see in the chat. Could it be that they're trying to wait for more people? Could it be that they're trying to wait? No, we're here. We're here. Halamots, praise. We're also here. Please just put in the chat if you can hear me. And also, like I said, just put in some emojis to just showcase how excited you are about the final training session for the ESG in Tech 2.0. Thank you so much, Halamots. But you guys are not showing me how excited. Is it that nobody's excited to graduate and you want us to continue for another extra 10 weeks? We're happy to do that, Tech for Good Africa. We love to empower. So you guys going for 10 more weeks. It looks like only Teresa and Temi Olu are excited. Maybe the rest of you will send you an email to continue your session for another 15 minutes. We'll be using the reactions. Oh, is it that I can't see it? Okay, I can see some people clapping. Tosin Salakor, Bahilu, I see you there clapping. Thank you so much for just even acknowledgement. Halimons, thank you for just updating me on that. All right. Okay. Amazing, amazing. I've used that hour to just you know, just see if Mercy can join back in. I wonder what happened to her mic. Okay. Right. But again, you've made it to week 5. Congratulations. And again, welcome to Tech for Good Africa community. Remember, we're a community Pan-African focused on encouraging and inspiring young people and just people generally in Africa to do technology for good. Um, and I trust that you are already a member, because if you're not a member, then you're wrong. So I know my team members are on the chats. So guys, please, if you can put on the chats, um, if you can just put on the chats the website for the community, so people can go and join. Thank you. So yes, if you've not joined the community, I welcome you to go on that website, Tammy, or if we have any of our team member on the group chat, please um, just put in the website for our community so that people can go and join in. Really love to see you in the community to continue on what we've started here. So we don't want to just stop after this is finished. We want to go on and do more. And again, we've kickstarted in Nigeria. So we even want many of you in different African countries to start Tech for Good Africa in your community there and start to track what tech is doing, whether it's making impact for positive or negative. I know many of you joined my coaching session. We had that question, where is technology neutral? And many of you were saying it's neutral. Some of you were saying it's not neutral, um, based on the fact that it's who uses it. And some other people mentioned that it's neutral because it's ones and zeros and they're just machines. But what we concluded was that it was not about whether it was people or that it was machine, but that it was always about, is the technology doing something positive or negative? So technology can never be neutral. It can only be doing something either positive or negative. And so we want to be able to see whether technology is helping your African countries or not. Hence, we encourage you to start Tech for Good Africa community in your country. And if you want to do that, please don't hesitate to just write to us. We're very excited to be able to set up a community in and we're happy to give you all the tools and support that you need to do that. All right. So today we will not waste too much time. We're going to just start calling on our speakers. So I'll just run through the agenda. First of all, we'll have our first speaker, Mr. Michael Odu, come on. I'll introduce him in a minute. And after we finish that, we'll take a bit of a pause, Q&A sort of thing. So most times you just write your questions in the chat. Um, Apart from that, we'll just have a session where we again always encourage you to go back to social media and post what you're writing, what you're learning here. We want to see a lot of noise on social media about ESG and tech, so please do not hesitate to do that. Post us, tag us on what you're learning from here. Those of you that are already posting and tagging us, we see you. We're engaging and we really love that. And after that, we'll move to the second speaker, Mr. Pizzo Sekhoto. I hope I didn't murder that name. He'll come up and tell me if I did. Please pardon me. And after that, we'll go into another question and answer, and then we'll wrap up with announcement. Okay, Mr. Pizzo. Okay, I'm doing well. Thank you. Then we'll wrap up with some announcements and closing. Most of the announcements to be around the Capstone project and the Green Leadership Incubator. And just a call out to again just join the community. Remember, you can join the community as an ambassador or as a leader. If you're joining as ambassador, that means you're a young person, you're a university, you're just trying to get into tech. If you're joining as a leader, then you're already doing tech or work in tech, or you're already a professional, even though you're not doing tech. And as a leader, you have to choose joining a thematic area, joining a leadership position, whether it's the working group where we work on different projects to solve problems in African countries, or you're in the faculty, which is helping to help us with curriculums and shaping the type of training we should be training in tech in Africa, or even just the advisory board, which we take a selected few into the advisory board to help us in mathematics area. One of the things about the working group as well is that they help to shape the incubator, shape some of the things that are coming out of incubator, and they would also be some of the people that will be looking through your capstone project next week. So if you're in this group and you're a professional, you're a high level professional in tech, or you're doing something in ESG, we really want you to join the leadership part of the community and help us to shape things. We are a community that allows everyone to lead together. We don't just lead by ourselves. So again, let me not waste too much time. We're jumping right
Hi,
into our
Mr.
session.
Sam.
Oh,
Can you
you're
hear
back.
me?
Thank you so much for coming back. Taking
Thank
taking
you.
taking it back for me. Okay. So I'll just let you
Yes,
introduce.
I'm back.
Okay. You can introduce the first speaker. Thank you, Mercy, for coming
Thank
to
you so much.
save
Yeah,
me
thank you so
again.
much for coming in. I think it was an issue with the headphones I was using. All
I
right,
figured.
thank you. That was a
Right.
very great introduction. So I'll just go right into introducing our speakers. I'm sure you all are excited for today's session, and we're having an amazing speakers who are ready for us already. So our first speaker will be Michael Fudu. So I'll just read his bow while we welcome him. I want you all to welcome him with your emojis and claps once I'm done reading his bow. So Michael is the head of product at Switch. He currently serves as the head of product at Switch Recycling Innovators Limited, an environmental sustainability fintech company based in Lagos, Nigeria, where they have built a digital waste collection mobile and web application with financial services embedded. From go live in September 2023, they have done over 3,700 plus downloads on both Google Play and Apple stores and processed over 19 billion plus in transaction value and created 3,681 plus unique customer wallets. This project is led from ideation to go live and post go live. Prior to switch, he has built a couple of more projects with the traditional banking institution and other fintechs. So if you're here today, I want you to welcome Michael as he will be coming on to take us on digital today. You can see that everywhere is looking digital already. So I've not seen your emoji. Without your emojis, I'm not going to give him the mic. So please send in your emoji, your claps. Yeah, let's welcome him. Okay, thank you. I can see a lot of love emojis now. All right, thank you. I believe, Michael, you can unmute and you can share your screen as well. All right, thank you.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. So you're going to be sharing as full slide or full presentation.
No problems.
All right.
Just get in there. Yeah. We're good? Are we good?
Oh, yes.
Yes, we are
Okay,
good.
cool.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. And it's a pleasure to be here to speak to us about what we are doing and how you can also be a part of it in your respective location, right? We will be speaking around, of course, you know, my name is Michael Odo already, and I head product, and I've been in and around products since 20.
I'm sorry, Michael. We can't hear you.
This translation is really.
Can you hear me better now?
Now we can hear you, but the voice is very maybe it's the mic. It looks like it's covered.
Now that?
Okay, this is better.
1 second, let me see.
This is wonderful. You're literally we can hear you. We can hear
Okay,
you
okay.
loud and clear now. This is perfect.
All right. Thank you so much for the feedback. Yeah. So, like I said, my name is Michael, and I've been in and around product since 2018. So, when we are speaking tech, when we are speaking digital, I think I may have a thing or two to say. Since 2022, I have been in the environmental and sustainability space, building digitally waste collection application or waste collection solution. So today we're looking at the digital green frontier, how we are accelerating Africa's transition. We want to be able to unlock growth through Internet of Things, through software as a service, and ESG innovations, right? A brief background, of course, I'm honored to be here to speak to you today. Just a little bit of what we have read already, but at Street Recycling, which is my parent company, there are 4 key pillars that we are driving today. Plastic for wealth or plastic for cash. That is where you exchange your recyclables into instant cash, be it into your wallet, or you receive physical cash. Plastic for education. What we're doing with plastic for education is through our digital product, we are advancing, we are helping guardians and parents pay their ward school fees up front, and they will then in turn repay that with plastics. And then plastic for charity again is that we are looking at a situation where we will all charge ourselves to do a charitable cause, but instead of donating money in real time, we would advise, or we're asking that you donate just a single bottle or 2 bottles of plastic. And as you also have heard, or we'll see further, the amount of money that is within this space that is almost always overlooked. People consider it as being a dirty business, but there's a lot of money in here. Then the fourth pillar is the plastic for health. Through our digital platform, again, we are in partnership with some HMOs, health management organizations. Again, we don't want you to pay them cash, go there, receive medical care, but we want you to repay us for sorting your bills with plastics. So the aim at the end of the day is for us to have the plastics, for us to trap them from the households who are the primary consumers, not allowing it litter our environment, right? And then, of course, we at Street Recycling, we have other sister companies. So what we run is a closed loop. We collect it at Street Recycling, and then we recycle them into bottle to bottle, food grade, RPET flakes and resins that can be used for further packaging products. So yeah, today, right, the problem that we have in Nigeria and in Africa at large is that we do not have enough infrastructure to collect the amount of waste that we generate. A simple instance, so I will be some of my illustrations will be in and around Nigeria, given that that is the terrain where I operate. A typical rainy day in Lagos State, Nigeria, when I'm sure that, of course, the internet has made it possible that sometimes you see these videos, you see these clips online, be it X, Instagram, and the likes. A typical rainy day at the end of the rain, if you look at our streets, you will see plastics, styrofoams, nylons, all floating in various streets of Lagos, right? Now that is a problem. We are contributing to that problem because we are not properly disposing of our waste materials, right? And that also, all of those materials that we trash just carelessly, if I may, has its impact on the environment, on the climate, and even directly affecting our health as individuals. So we have the pollution problems, even from dump sites. So the solution that we are bringing on board is that this thing that we have all considered to be a problem for us, we do not want it to be a burden to us at all. We want this burden to be transitioned into an opportunity. So that is what led us into, and not only are we making this burden an opportunity, we are trying to digitize that solution. We don't want you to, suffer yourself, so to say. We don't want you to suffer yourself trying to do the right thing. No, that's where we introduce technology into what we are doing in the Street Recycling app, right? The goal really for us at Street Recycling is to revolutionize waste management, waste collection, and the entire value chain of waste management, right? So we have digitized the process of waste management in Nigeria by the introduction of the Street Recycling app, which we are going to look in depth into what we have done there, right? So to accelerate this transition, right, we have leveraged digital tools, right? We have built a digital application, which is more like a fintech solution. So we are driving fintech for sustainability in that the user journey for the solution that we have built is such that at the end of your onboarding, you have a digital wallet assigned to you. Now, digital wallet helps, and in Nigeria where we are alongside the central bank and all the financial institutions, we are trying so hard to ensure that financially excluded people are brought into inclusivity around the banking system, right? So that is what we have tried to do. We are not only, focused on waste management, we are also trying to help, in bringing more people into the financial space. So, of course, our mobile application, which is live as I speak, you can, after now, you can go back, look at what we have and see how that can benefit you. There are user types that are, so for everybody on this call who I presume are entrepreneurs, right? This solution, I dare say, is tailor-made for you, right? Because you can become, or you can sign up as an agent within that solution that we have built, and then you can then drive a campaign within your neighborhood for those households within your neighborhood to be able to no longer trash their recyclables, but through that mobile application, sell it to you, and you can in turn sell it to Switch Recycling in exchange for value, in exchange for cash, right? So that is what we are doing. We have introduced logistics because part of what is inbuilt within that system is logistics. We can come to you just by virtue of you, scheduling that request. We can come to your location, through the address that you have provided for us. We have our pickup trucks that are on all the locations where we operate, and we are expanding again. We are expanding massively. So, and we are looking also going into partnerships with other collectors, such that the solution that we have built, we can offer them that software, we can offer them that solution, and they can also begin to drive environmental stewardship. So we have revolutionized the way waste is being treated today. Not only is it now more profitable, it is also helping the environment. The streets are no longer littered when we all embrace solutions like the Street Recycling app. We are being responsible to ourselves and to our environment, and also we are empowering ourselves economically to be financially stable, or financially stable, right? So what are we doing with this green fintech front pioneer that we are doing? So the case study, like I said, would be around the Street Recycling app. Around financial inclusion, what have we done, right? Remember that the Street Recycling app is a combination of waste management, financial services, logistics, right? That's all that is embedded within this simple application. So in terms of financial inclusion, what have we done? As of today, we have, and all of these things that I am going to be speaking on as to what this product or this solution has done, I am sure that prior to now, maybe nobody on this call have heard about Street Recycling. It is because we have not even started making all the loud noise, right? We are still doing what we are doing organically. So imagine when we have come out there and then we are speaking to people like I'm speaking to you today about what we are doing. So these over 3,000 wallets that we have created unique, what it has done basically is, and you know that, again, in Nigeria, the people that we see around plastic, around waste management, are people who are maybe in the lower cadre, in the lower end of the financial spectrum, right? We consider, or the general idea is that these people are not in the middle class region. But that is not true. That is not true. The fact is that we have people who earn a living. In fact, who all they do is waste collection, plastic, LD, all the types of plastic that you can think of. So it is not a dirty boy's business. It is not a dirty girl's business. This is something that can set you up, and then you will be financially stable for life. Now, the prices for this, for a kg, can sell as high as 480 naira. For as high as 480 naira. So imagine when you have gathered up until maybe 1,000 kg, what that can mean for you financially. So when we say that we have done over close to 2 billion in transactions, these are the things, the numbers behind it, where over 3,000 plus people are engaging in trade, plastic trade. The household will sell to the agent. Monies are moving around. The economy is booming. Just by your own little contribution, the 450, the 200,000, the 100,000, the 50,000 that you earn, just by leveraging this digital solution to manage waste, to ensure that they do not get into the environment. That is basically what we're doing. So we have done over 3,000 organically. We have processed close to 2 billion just a little over 2 years. And this, imagine every little company in the country today contributes 2 billion into the economy. Then we will be in business. And given that, in recent times, government is on our neck, almost collecting the little that we're making. But imagine what that means for all of us as a country if we're able to do this, right? And then, of course, I've mentioned what our operations are anchored on, based on, of course, on the SDGs that we are also considering, right? So we'll take the conversation further. I don't know how much time I have, so let me just be sure that I touch on everything that I need to touch on before my time is up, right? So our impact, right? We did through this solution, of course. Okay, if you can see that to your left, I hope that is where you can see that. This is a screenshot of the landing page of this solution, the switch recycling app that we are speaking on today, right? So you can see that for this user, you are able to be accountable for yourself, how much you've been able to, how much in terms of kg of waste that you've been able to take out of the environment. How much in kg, in weight, have you been able to take out of the environment? You can also tell just by logging in how you have done in carbon savings, because for every of this plastic that you dispose of properly and is being recycled properly, you are contributing to carbon savings. So just that is what you can also be proud to speak on your own. You can also be proud to engage people so that these things can get out there. People can become very, very interested, and people can, be proud of what they have done or how they've been able to contribute into environment and sustainability. So as green entrepreneurs, this is a charge for you as well to go and grab this and be able to do what you can with it. Ordinarily today, right, over 12,000 metric tons of waste, majorly plastic, would have been in landfills, polluting our environment. But through this solution, we have been able to channel this. Not only have we channeled them away from the streets, we've been able to turn them back into raw materials that packaging companies are able to use today. I am sure that for some of you who are in Lagos, for instance, a lot of the fizzy drinks that you've been taking, it will be hard for you to tell, but I know for sure that some of those
drinks were bottled from recycled materials. Because I'm here, I know how to tell, but I doubt that. Maybe you know, but I don't know. But it will be hard if you are not playing in this space to know that these things are recycled. So we've been able to combat climate change, again, by virtue of these collections that we have done. And then, of course, it is a profitable business. Do not look at it again as a dirty boy or a dirty girl's business. As you are being an environmental entrepreneur, know it today. If you want to go into this line, I charge you, do not look at it as a dirty man's business, a dirty girl's business. Look at it as something that is profitable, something that you can earn a living from. So there is a practical illustration. There's a guy that I know. He used to come around one of our collectors, and then the collector would always extend an arm of charity. Again, remember that we have charity as one of our pillars. Then this collector kept giving this guy arms, 1,000 today, 2,000 tomorrow, just to feed. Now, of course, the guy, having understood that this collector is always dealing with plastic, so the guy would go about, gather plastics, and then he will come to give this collector. And the intention was to give it for free, to reciprocate the goodwill that this collector has been doing to him. So what the collector did was to tell that guy that, no, I will not take this for free. This is actually valuable. This is profitable. You can earn a living from this. To cut the long story short, within a month or two, this guy was able to raise a lot of money, rented an apartment, and currently today is now doing this as a full-time job. So again, I'm saying this to say that you may not have, and you do not need so much finances to start this. As little as 150 or 200K, you can start, provided you have a little space where you can gather these recyclables and then go through this digital solution. And this is our own. If you check, there are a lot of solutions like this in the market. But of course, everyone has their unique selling points, right? But it is left for you to, go look at what is available. But I know for sure, not because I built this one, but because I have had to look at what competitors are offering, and I can tell you for sure that this is the best in the market. So again, I hope I'm doing well with time. So the charge, really looking forward, is for you to unlock opportunities that is within the environment and the sustainability space. Embrace this innovation. If it's not present in your country, because I understand that we have people from outside of Nigeria, and it's a Pan-African project. So you can also start looking at creating your own sweet recycling application in your country, in your community, so that you can begin to ensure that waste does not get into the environment. As you are doing that, you are also earning. Remember again that what you are collecting, this is also a form of foreign, what do you call that thing? FX. You can use it because there are companies abroad that are looking for plastics today to recycle. And I tell you that in a year, 2 or 3, maximum 5 years, it is most likely that you will not see plastics littering the streets, because regulations are coming up that would mean that every manufacturer we banter was like net zero, right? These things will come. A time will come, and it is only people who have had the opportunity to hear this today that will benefit eventually. So thank you very much for your time. I hope I've been able to charge you to not look at waste, not look at environment and sustainability as a dirty business, but to tell you that you can drive this, you can earn a living, and this you can do digitally from the comfort of your phone. You can do this, and at the end of the day, we would all be living la vida loca, as they say. Thank you so much. I hope I did well with time. I would now see if there are questions for me that we would need to speak on. So let's have further conversations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael. Please let's send in our claps and appreciation to Michael. Can we hear me? Please confirm you can hear me. So I think today's session actually took a different dimension, and I like it because Michael was able to take us on practical digital solution using switch recycling as an example, taking us through the journey of switch recycling and how you can even replicate this in different locations. So, which I find very amazing. Well done to you, Michael, and your team. Well done. And we're just going to take few questions because you still have some minutes left. I want to believe I'm very audible. Please just let me know if I'm not. So the first question would be from Alimot. She's asking that she sincerely understands this concept, having experience in the waste management and recycling sector. Our question is, would you advise a recycling firm to build their hub from ground up or collaborate with co-vendors who already have this app from SDG 17 angle? Also, she's asking how can an entrepreneur in the waste management space have a shop if there is a thing like that for your hub, such that recyclables are picked, they get the monetary value. Okay, they get their monetary value beyond the impact? If yes, how would you go about it? What are the pros and cons? I don't know if Michael, did you get the question?
Yes. So Halimot, thank you for that question, right? So again, right, I understand that we are entrepreneurs here. If you have the resources, you can go ahead and build your own. And I'm sure that the way that you want to approach your collection business might be different from what we have. So in that sense, having a tailor-made product that suits your business idea may be the best thing for you. But if, of course, building a digital product it has serious financial implications, right? But if you're a business that is starting up, my advice would be for you to adopt the switch recycling application, which is excuse me, which is a solution that is available and ready to use. Sign up as an agent. Like I did say in my presentation, if you sign up as an agent, canvas, do an awareness within your locality. Speak to people who are of common interest so that they also can sign up maybe as household. When they gather, you pick from them, make payment, and then if you gather in large numbers, you can then sell it in turn to switch, right? So that's what I would advise. If you do not have the money, it's a big budget. If you don't have that, please adopt what is existing. The switch recycling app allows you to function as an agent that is able to collect from households, right? So that will be it. Halimot, I hope that addresses your concern. Pros and cons, right? Of course, the headache of managing a platform like a solution like the switch recycling app is no longer on you. So if the solution is down for one reason or the other, it is not your headache. But if you own this product, when it's down, it is directly your headache, right? So those are some of the cons around owning your own solution or your own application, right? So that's the way I would look at it. It's a big budget. It depends, again, it depends on how you want your solution to function. So I cannot give you an amount right now, but if we look at other things that are part of what you want to achieve, then we can begin to put costing around all of that. But just know that that would be in the upward of between 15 to 20 million just to roll it out. In Naira, of course, in Naira, if I say. Thank you. Malimot, except if this is not clear, if you still want us to have further conversations, please reach out. You can find me on LinkedIn and we can have further conversations. Right. So yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you for that response. The second question would be how okay, sorry. The second question is from Teresa, and he or she is asking that they are curious about what happens after the plastics are being collected. I think two people asked the same question. So
All right. So Teresa, I did say that we have sister companies, right? We, as of today, right, we have a food grade RPET recycling facility, right? So all our collections are used up, are recycled in our facility. And then after that recycling, we also sell them to end users. That is the packaging companies, people who bottle drinks. Because our collection, our recycling is bottle to bottle. We recycle the used bottle and it will be used to produce new bottles that will be used again to package new products. So I did say that on the streets of Lagos today, there are certain fizzy drinks, certain pet drinks that you buy, even water, that some of them have 50% recycled content, 100% recycled content. So our collections are end to end. And what we're also doing for our sister company is that we are expanding our capacity to 100,000 tons. That is, annually we are looking at taking away 5.5 billion bottles off the streets, of the drainages, taking them from household and recycling them end to end. So our collections are recycled end to end in our sister company along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. So that's what we do with it, Teresa. We recycle them and they are used as raw materials for new products.
all right, thank you, Michael, for that answer. So I think the last question we'll be taking is from Bahilu. Is it Bahilu? Yeah. It says, it said, your Lagos progress is amazing. So how shall we take these similar projects study here in Ethiopia, mainly using the digital world?
Right. Okay. Thank you, Bahilu. So, like I said, this solution is available. It is something that maybe we would have, I don't know how we want to do it, Mercy, but for somebody like Bahilu, it is just maybe have a session with you to show you how it works, and then you can maybe look for people who have common interest in the environment and sustainability, and then you can try to replicate this in Ethiopia, right? That's just the best I can say, right? Because before we expand to Ethiopia, it might take months, because the idea is to collect across Africa, but it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might be later. So that would be how I would address that.
Okay, so I said that was going to be our last question, but even while
Oh,
you
okay.
were, though I can see there is one more question, but I just wanted to say also, I think there is more you can do with Tech for Good Africa and Eco platform, but I think we'll take it after this call. So there's more I see that we can do with Switch Recycling because we have a platform called the Eco platform that helps gather data around different sustainability projects. So I think there is more we can do. So we'll talk about that after the session. There is one more question, just to wrap up from Timmy. He said, is recycling really green because the refurbishing of these plastics will require some industrial process that would contribute to the green gas emission? Or is there a sustainable work being done?
Right. So the thing is that for us, right, you cannot. What we're trying to do is to reduce. Remember that it is practically impossible to eliminate. It's practically impossible to eliminate. So the much we are doing is we are reducing. And in our facility today, most of the things that we do are powered by solar. We have inverters that power most of our machines. So we understand this and we have measures, at least we have done some work around making sure that this we will reduce the same carbon emission that we are trying to see by this recycling process, right?
All right, thank you. Tech for Good Africa, guys. Yeah, hands off. That's our president. So you can go ahead and speak, sir.
So again,
Thanks.
you get that? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Truly enjoyed this presentation today and just love your application. I just wanted to speak to you one part of the application. I just love the digitalization of these things. You spoke about the wallets and you said you have about 4,000 people with a wallet at the moment. Can you speak more to the wallets? Is it backed up by SEC? What type of wallet is it? Is it a blockchain wallet? What type of wallet do you use to run this application? Again, just because I wanted to just learn about the tech. But just to speak on top of that is some of these things are happening, are what we expect to see Tech for Good Africa. And I'm sure the team will reach out to you after and see how we can spread the work you're doing across other African countries is why we exist, so that those campaigns, those things you're trying to create, we can expand and create them and we can see more people using technology like yours for good and using Facebook. We'll follow up on that some more. But I'm looking forward to the answer to my question.
All
Thanks
right,
again, Mike.
all right. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, it's a full-fledged financial wallet. We are in partnership with a financial institution. Through APIs, we are able to connect to them. So that's basically it. It's a financial services institution in Nigeria here that is powering that wallet. So it's a full-fledged financial wallet, and of course those what do you call it now? The financial institution, they have all of the regulatory certificates or documentations to back up their services. So that's just about that.
Thanks, Michael. I'll be in your DM. Thanks so much.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. For the other questions, you could please attend to them in the chat box, as I would have to call in the second speaker. But thank you so much. I really like the dimension in which this session took today. You were able to take us through a practical solution using switch recycling. Sorry, using switch recycling as a case study. And like I said, we'll reach out to you. I believe there are so many amazing things we're going to do together with Tech for Good, because this is like what we want to do at Tech for Good, making sure that we're using technology for good across all African countries. So thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your commitment to us. All right, thank you. We'll be moving on to the second session. So I'll be sharing my screen shortly. All right. I want to believe we enjoyed that first session. I want to believe we all enjoyed it. So just you could just send in your appreciation in the chat section so that Michael can read it. So I think we're keeping up with time well. I'll be inviting our second speaker. There's a Pizzo. I won't bother calling the second name. So I want to believe Pizzo is on the call. So I'm just going to go ahead to read your bio. Once I'm done reading his bio, please let's send in our appreciation. Let's send in our claps, our emoji to welcome him. And I'm sure the second session too is going to be amazing. So let's go. Pizzo is an electrical engineer. He's an award-winning electrical engineer and leader specializing in control, automation, and OT cybersecurity within South Africa's power sector. He currently serves as a middle manager at the National Transmission Company, South Africa, and was appointed by the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure as a council member of the Engineering Council of South Africa for the 2025-2029 term. He is recognized as the 2024 Sahi Young Achiever. Pizzo has led major projects in SCADA, fiber optic, submarine cables, plant automation, and critical infrastructure cybersecurity. He's also the 2026 Sahi Consec Chairperson and the passionate advocate for youth development, standards education, and digital capacity building across Africa. His work spans engineering, policy influence, and technology for impact initiatives. So join me welcome our next speaker, Pizzo, and I want you to send in your emojis. He's going to be presenting from his end, and I want to believe Pizzo, you are here. Oh, I can see you. Thank you. So let's send in our emojis. Let's work. Everywhere is digital today. I can literally see that everywhere is digital. So let's welcome him. I'm going to be handing over the mic to you. Pizzo.
Thank you, Messi. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. It's really an honor for me to be here today. So I hope I'm audible and you can see my screen as well. Good. Yeah, so today is week 5 and we'll be discussing digitals, and I must thank the previous speaker, Odo, for the perfect use case, and I will also be in your DMs, I must say. It's good to collaborate and to advance renewables, so recycling industry as well, because it's not just the dirty industry as we know it. It's actually doing a good service for our future and for our future kids. So speaking about digitals, so today I'll be speaking about the pretty much introduction of the digitals. But before I even proceed, I just wanted to remind everyone and do a countdown to say today is week 5. So we are having our projects pitch next week, and I wanted to wish everyone all the best for next week. So I'm looking forward to that session, because that's when we learn a lot as speakers, because it's always good to take in knowledge as opposed to always giving it away. And then going to basics, I always just like to go to basics whenever I'm talking about digital or digital transformation. So this has been much the digital evolution. So if you check here, right at the bottom of the pyramid, the important thing here is digitization. So you cannot have digital transformation until you've actually moved all your data from analog to digital. And then you have the next layer, which is digitalization. So that's data-driven processes. That's where you have your automation or digital tools that you can use to analyze and optimize any operations that you have. And then right at the top, that's the only time where you can have digital transformation, and that's redefining or redesigning the system strategies to enable smart grids, for instance. So digital transformation cuts across all the industries, and it's only attained by going through digitalization, and then you can attain digital transformation. So what we are seeing is companies or entrepreneurs that only stops at digitalization, and then they are assuming that they've made it to the digital transformation. So transformation is a journey that you need to embark on, and you need to continuously improve. Just to add a simple example of what digital transformation is, we can use the cell phones. So you can see that as time went on, we've managed to incorporate all these functionalities that were previously separate into one device, and that's what we call digital transformation, and it has to continuously improve. You cannot say that now you have a phone and you're not updating your iOS or your Jelly Bean or whatever operating system that you are using. So that's what we mean by digital transformation. Okay, so for digital trends and digital transformation, I always lean on what we call hype cycle curves. I'm just sharing one here. This is specifically from July 2021. So you will see that here, if you just Google hype cycle, there's different curves for different industries, for different technological trends. You will see that here, we started in 2021, we were already seeing stuff like AI or artificial intelligence, the wireless EV chargers, your digital twin, which was at the delusional stage or the slope of enlightenment or productivity. So you'll see here the energy storage systems or the battery storage systems and the phasor measurements on the electric vehicles. For instance, we're already at the slope of enlightenment. So if you check hype cycle for today, you will see a completely different picture, and you'll also see what are the innovations or the triggers that are currently happening, so that you are able to get on with the trend and have solutions that will really be impactful and be lasting, and you should be able to ensure that you are able to align technically with the technologies that we are seeing. So this is pretty much an example of what a hype cycle is, and what it predicts for the future and how we can fully utilize it. Now, in our context for today, given that we've defined the digital transformation and the digital evolutions, so pretty much ESG without digital architecture is incomplete. So reporting alone is no longer sufficient, and real-time tracking builds credibility and accountability, which is what is really required. And systems thinking require digital infrastructure. Now, what we mean by real-time data, I have a nice illustration here of the power industry or the renewable energy systems. You will see here that before we used to only worry about electricity going into the grid and not necessarily about data, but data is the new gold, and real-time data is really the current thing. You see that you can have your power station, your renewable energy systems, your EVs and your smart homes, and continuously there will be data flowing from one point to the other, so that you are able to operate the grid smartly. And that's what we define as smart grid, or you are able to integrate all the technologies easily, and you are able to optimize how electricity reaches all the people across Africa or the world. Okay, so key competencies for digital for an ESG is the IoT. So there must be real-time environmental and asset monitoring, and then it must be scalable. So the platform must be scalable, and then you should be able to have some forecasting and optimization models. So you can use AI or machine learning models and train your models. And then it also must incorporate big data, and then it integrates sustainability and data sets. So that's pretty much what you require as key competencies. And ESG is a data-driven system that uses digital technologies to measure, predict, improve on organizational environmental impact, social responsibility, and governance performance. So you can see how this then integrates the IoT sensors, the carbon tracking and the climate models and the workforce data, inclusion matrices, community impact, and the risk dashboard. So ESG is data intelligent layer that turns sustainability data into real-time decision making. And the key word here is real-time decision making. So I have an example of a climate intelligence dashboard, which is used or which can be used for carbon emissions. I know a lot of companies are running their own reporting system. So what we are aspiring to is to get to a climate intelligent dashboard where you are able to read or get clearly what the risk heat maps are, the energy and water efficiency matrices, and social inclusion and governance indicators. Okay, so from ESG, we need to move from just reporting to intelligence. So reporting details what happened, and then monitoring deals with what is currently happening, and that's when your sensors come in, your digitalization processes kick in, and then intelligence deals with what might happen or what will happen next. And then action deals with what decisions should be taken. And that is purely based on the historic data and artificial intelligence or AI modules or machine learning modules or predictive modules that you would have trained with the previous data or historic data so that they're able to better tell you what actions is happening next. An example of this is in the agri-tech space, where you are able to basically use the IoT sensors to check various conditions or the weather or the conditions of the environment where you have planted your crop, and then you are able to use historic data for your AI yield so that you are able to then predict the most suitable time to plant and to harvest, and that will then lead to an increased food security and reduced water use. So this is pretty much what most farmers currently are using. They're using the agri-tech. It can be in any industries. They will have sensors that tells them when do you water your plants, when do you do certain things, and there will be some alarms and SCADA systems that is inbuilt there that's able to alert you if there are any issues that you are seeing. In the renewable energy systems, we have smart grids. We are currently implementing automation. So we're using standards like IEC 61850. We use digital asset monitoring, and then we have energy forecasting, and then we also easily integrate renewable systems and all the distributed systems across Africa. So it's very important that the ESG adapts and moves so that it can enable all of these innovations and changes so that they can be carried out. So the legacy ESG was purely based on compliance first, and it was PDF heavy. So it was backward looking, and then it deals with more reports and cycles and auditing, and the future, the architecture of the ESG that we should be deploying in the future to ensure that we are able to be more innovative is Leapfrog ESG, which is intelligence first, and then real time, and then IoT plus AI data engines. And then, so this then deals with sensing, predicting, deciding, and then acting. So the sensing part, that's the part that I always like to cover from the technical point of view, because it wouldn't make sense for you to implement the solution if you don't understand the actual basics, the sensors, and the predictive models that you actually are gonna be constructing. So in terms of alignment, so ESG future or measurements or models really support the sustainable goals, the SDGs, as we've seen in the recycle space, as the previous speaker has highlighted. So it's very important for us to encourage moving from legacy ESG models or measurements or reporting to the future so that we are able to measure all these sustainable goals in real time, and then we are able to adapt them in real time. Okay, so as an engineer and an advocate for standards, I have realistic use cases that we are currently seeing in the standardization and conformity assessment space. Just to explain, standards are existing for everything. So everything that we do, or everything that we can think of, or any product that we have, or any design that we can do, there is a standard that is governing it. So the easiest way, whenever I joke and I'm advocating for standards, I'll say the easiest way to solve the world's problems is to contribute to standards. So you have organizations like the IEC. There's Global Standard Body, the ITU. So there's plenty of organizations that deals with standards. So I'll then have an example of an IEC standard. So the IEC standard will then be used or passed down to AFREC, which is the African Energy Commission under the African Union. And then from there, all the standards that are adopted under AFREC they can either be in the electrotechnical space, which is the engineering space. They will then be adopted by an organization called AFSEC, or any other space within Africa. Then we're dealing with an organization called ARSO, which is African Standardization. So this is where they deal with all the standards from fishery to AI to everything that you can think of. There is a standard that is actually aligning to it, and that must be adapted so that we can conform to it. So AFSEC then focuses on the electrotechnical space, or the engineering space, or the electricity space as per the SDG goal. And then from there, these organizations, they do have an MOU, they are collaborating with each other, and all of them are under AFREC, which is the African Union. And then most regional coordinators, they operate at various countries. So this is then there for harmonization and for ensuring that the frameworks are adopted, and the standard moves from just being a standard, which is just a document that was compiled by experts, to actually being a policy or a law, so to say, for a simpler word, so that can easily be consumed. And then people then have to comply to that. So you then have various regional organizations that are adopting the standards and then making them implementable. So you'll have your SABS in South Africa, South African Bureau of Standards, and then you have your CABS in Kenya. So basically, the way you would have, if let's say you want to order something from China or trade something between the countries, you will have to get an endorsement from the regional coordinator, or rather your standard bearer within your respective countries. And there's many of these organizations. So they are direct affiliates of ARSO, AFSEC, AFREC, and IEC. So this is now how you do the conformity assessment and the standardization body. So each and every product, if you check in your house, it will have a logo or a certification stamping on it that says this product was certified by X standard body. And this is pretty much how in high level the organizations work. Now, if you move to the world of engineering, because I am an engineer, similar thing is there, which is also very powerful. So in the world of engineering, you have the World Federation of Engineers. And there are other societies depending on which industry you are operating under. So I'm just using this one as a real use cases so that we can easily see how we can collaborate with these organizations to advance the innovations and the careers, or rather implementations and products that we want to advance. So in the world of engineering, we have the WIFIO, World Federation of Engineers Organization, which operates at the global level. And then we have FEO, which is Federation of African Engineering Organizations. So this is for Africa. So all the engineering councils, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Ethiopian Society of Engineers, Ghana Institute of Engineers, and many other, then are affiliated with FAO and with FIO in this manner. So this is then a top level and all the way down to local implementation. So now if you get to the implementation level, your EXAS, your Ghana Institute of Engineers, this is when now they're dealing with certification, accreditation, and professional registration. So this is why you'll hear that most engineers will want to register and become professional engineers within their industry so that they can gain that professional registration, and then they are able to sign off on designs. They are able to do designs and ensure that their designs are safe and they are implementable. The other way of looking at it is these engineering bodies also accredit the curriculum that we go through at the schools. You will find that, say, in South Africa, you have University of Cape Town, you have University of Johannesburg, Witwatersrand, or in Egypt, you have University of Cairo. So those universities, their engineering curriculum is accredited and continuously evaluated by the engineering body within that country, and then it offer those certifications. So there are plenty of societies in this manner. So it's important for us to always know in the space that we are operating in, what are the governances, the policies, the voluntary associations, the statutory bodies that we need to align ourselves to, so that we are able to ensure that whatever company, product, or innovation that we have is actually sustainable, is actually solving or addressing the need of the people, because we believe that as the future, or as engineers, or as entrepreneurs, we're here to solve the world's problems, and we need to start solving them now, and we need to ensure that we do that efficiently, and it must be sustainable. So with that said, I was given 30 minutes, so I had spared my presentation for 20 minutes so that I can have more time for Q&A. So I would like to thank the organizers and thank everyone for the opportunity. And I'd like to remind everyone that the future is actually happening now. So we don't have to wait for the future to happen. We are in charge of the future. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Pitso, for that amazing session. Please let's send in her appreciation to our second speaker and for also keeping to time. Thank you so much. We're doing good with time. Please let's drop our questions. You can also raise your hands up. Since we still have some few minutes for questions, you could raise your hand up and you would be allowed to unmute to ask your questions. So
Yeah.
yes, so let's do that. I'm not seeing any questions yet, but thank you, Pitso, for that amazing session. It was okay. Our president has his hand up, so you can go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Messi, and thanks, Pete. So this was a really high level. I know if we broke down more of these things, there'll be more to look into. So thanks for sharing that with us. First thing is I need to know where you learned where you did your presentation from, because all those animation and automation that was in your presentation, I need to figure out how you did that. So please give me the tips. At Tech for Good Africa, we want to always learn some of these unique tips. Those were a really cool presentation. My question now was more even on standard. So as you were speaking on standard, I saw many of the standards stemming from the global south. So maybe it's coming from, I don't know which country, and then you then see this African continent standardization, then it moves into the national countries. What is your thoughts on we having standards from this global south? And have you seen any standards stemming out of Africa to the other side? Because I believe we again, I'm on a new path of we need to design a new economy from Africa and being the sustainability standard for the rest of the world, because it's from us you've extracted many of the things that have polluted the planet. So if we created standards from here, maybe you could do that. But I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that. What do you think about the standards coming from that side? Can we stem standards from here, or have you seen any standard that stemmed from here to that side? Thanks,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, the interesting part is most innovation and the technology implementation happens in Africa, right? So I am currently the Young Professionals Chairperson for AFSEC, which is the Electrotechnical Standards. And we have seen standards that were written and we've actually submitted them for adoption. And then we don't just adopt international standard from outside, we actually create our own standards, and then we make sure that the standards are applicable to the African market. I can give an example with a car. You know, most cars previously they will be adopted to the northern regions, and then they will be tested in their weather conditions. So now, what we do in the standardization and conformity assessments is they ensure that those standards are applicable to the African markets. Because in Africa, you have the southern side, South Africa, that has its own weather. You have the northern side, Egypt, that is completely different. So whatever product that you bring into Africa must be safe, and it must you know, conform with the safety requirements. So AFSEC, they do write their own standards for Africa under the African Union, and then even ARSO as well. And then they also do produce their own guidelines. The recent guidelines that I was working on was the integration of the renewable energy systems, and there was also the smart meters. As we mentioned today, we're talking about IoT and the sensors. So if you're not going to have smart meters that can withhold or withstand the extreme temperatures in Egypt, then it's pointless. So we need to test them according to something, and that's why African standards come into play, and that's those organizations are doing. I can give you another example with AI. You know, the African Union did an AI for Africa adoption, and then the framework and all of those things. ARSO was leading in that. So that's definitely from Africa. Regarding the slides, I suppose this is why it's a digital session. I use AI quite a lot. AI is a friend. It will not replace you. Trust me. ChatGPT makes a lot of mistakes. So I use multiple AI platforms, and then once you combine them, you are able to enhance your skill that you have. So I start by creating the actual slides, get the images from Getty Images, and then I do it, slides, finish it, and then I enhance it with various AI so that the visuals can fit the theme and the purpose of that specific organization I'm presenting at. So I always make my slides specific for the platform. So these slides were purely for today and will not be replicated anywhere else. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. That sounds really amazing and interesting. All right. So we have some questions for you. And
Yes.
I also have a question. I want you to maybe like share some more insights on the IoT adoption in different sectors in Nigeria or Africa. So from the angle of the adoption of electrical cars, implementation of IoT in warehouses, and
Mm.
all of that. Um, I would like to know what you think about that. While after that, I'll read the other questions in the chat. Yeah. I
Okay.
just want to.
Yeah. So we maybe let me start by saying in Rwanda and Kenya they have a lot of motorcycles. You know, so by virtue that that's how they commute there. Organizations like ISO and IEC have started looking into the EVs or the electronic scooters standards so that they are able to change those the way they commute and the way they you know, you buy those motorcycles. Of course, we're not going to realize that tomorrow, but it will take some time. But that is really the fitting places for us to start with those. And then organizations like AFSEC, SABS in South Africa, they are leading the EVs and the chargers, battery chargers, placing, and all of those things. So I am seeing literally in South Africa right now that all the or most of the garage stations or fuel stations within Johannesburg, they do have an EV charger or an EV place for people that are actually driving EVs. And I'm also seeing the EV market increasing throughout the whole of Africa. So all I'm saying is in Africa, we are actually the first adopters and the actual testers and implementers of all these technologies, or the pilot grounds, so to say. So in terms of IT, IoT, IT, smart grids, I think we've been seeing quite a lot of those, especially in the renewable energy systems, the just energy transitions, the way we generate electricity and empower the whole of Africa. So the adoption is actually ramping up, and it's happening at an alarming rate, especially in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so we have questions from you. The first will be from the chat by Hilo. The question is, do you think making things 100% digital would help support economic development or ESG plan?
Yeah,
Let me just
100%. So I definitely think the economic growth can be fast-tracked by us adopting digital technologies or being digitally transformed. So that is definitely supported from my end.
All right. So she also asked a follow-up question. Do we log out any ways of the traditional methods of data collection analysis or analysis? Do we
Okay.
log out any ways of traditional methods of data collection or analysis?
Yeah,
Did you
I
get
think
that?
yeah, he can also come in and clarify it, especially the log out part. But I'm assuming the question is, do we log any traditional method of data collection and analysis? Yes, we do. Remember, as we advance, it's important for us to be backward compatible, and we call that interoperability. So you cannot have new technologies and then you're not integrating to your previous technologies. I think everybody now is moving to the cloud. Remember, we need to be able to incorporate your previous servers or any other data concentrators and technologies that we have. So we always ensure that data collection, analysis, and implementation technologies are both forward-looking and backward compatible.
Okay, thank you. Bahilo, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, I think I did
And
see him clapping as well.
because
Yeah.
I saw an emoji, so all right, that's fine. Halimot says that she didn't get the name of the AI app, so maybe you could help us type it in the chat box.
Yes, no, I'll type
So
all of them in the chat. And of course, the
yeah,
most easy one is ChatGPT. Yes, thank you.
all right. So we've come to any other questions, please, for it. So we still have some minutes more. Okay, so if there are no other questions, or you could just drop your questions in the chat box. We've come to the end of our second speaker session. Thank you so much, Pitso, for that amazing session, and thank you for your time and commitment. You could just check in the chat box if there are any other questions for you. But we have come to the end of the second session. So let
Thank
me
you.
just yeah, thank you. Let me go ahead to share my screen. Okay, so right now we are wrapping up with today's session, and I can see that we are really doing well with time. So I'm just going to take some time to do some announcements. Yeah, question and answer. Okay, so I'm going to take some time to do this announcement. So next week, the first announcement. Okay, let me check with what I have here. First announcement is if you are here and you've not followed us at Tech for Good Africa, you are wrong. So let me please help me drop her social media links. So we are all encouraged to follow us so you can keep in touch with all our activities, our programs and initiatives, and always also engage with these activities and posts. So we encourage you to follow us on LinkedIn, We are on Instagram and Twitter. I was about to say TikTok, sorry. And Twitter. So we expect you to follow us on our social medias. Also, my second announcement would be that there is a tax for all leaders here. So though we're going to be sharing more information about the tax in your different groups, but let me just give you a quick overview of what the tax is. We've come to the end of our trainings for the thematic session. You remember we started January 31st and we started with energy and education. Then we did media, we did data, design and digital, which we just finished today. So based on your thematic group, we are going to be doing a recap that aligns with your thematic group. For example, on the top of my head, if you are in media, you'll come up with a recap that would help shape the media better. But we'll share the in-depth tax to you. I'm just giving you this overview so you can take the necessary action once we share this to you. We're sharing it today, actually. We're sharing it today so you can do the needful immediately. Then my third presentation will be what I have on the screen, which is about our capstone project. So we all know that this boot camp is for 6 weeks, and the first 5 weeks is for training, which we've completed today. And now to the exciting part of it, because if you've been following our trainings and the boot camp, right, you'd see that it's not just the knowledge has really been about shaping you to be an innovator, like steering something in you, right? And I really like that part about Tech for Good Africa because everyone here is everyone here is shaped to become a leader, and not just any leader, an ethical leader and an innovator. So it means that anything you are building, you're already equipped to build it properly and build it right, because we've told you how energy and education can be used for green solutions. We've told you how media can be used for good. We've told you how data, design, digital can be used for good. So definitely I want to trust that every solution coming from any one of us is going to be a solution that is for good. And that's why we have the capstone project. I've been seeing a lot of work, and I want to say well done to all thematic groups. I want to say well done to all the thematic groups, and keep it up. You have less than 1 week to wrap things up. So I want to encourage you all to go back and tidy up your work. Make sure you push to the end, because it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. So the presentation will be next week. We'll have judges on the call, and would also be looking forward to seeing your amazing problems that you've identified and solutions. And if you have been missing the capstone training that happens on Mondays by 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., you are totally wrong, because the trainings have been really insightful, and I'm sure that those that have been attending can testify to that. So we're going to be having the final training tomorrow. We'll communicate also the time to you, but it's usually between 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Yeah, so I want us to, okay, let me take this announcement. I want to also remind us about our incubator program. So after this capstone project, which is happening next week, we are moving into the incubator program, and we announced about it last week, and we also spoke in-depthly about it. So the incubator program is about, we at Tech for Good, we're going to be incubating 12 projects, and I think Temi can confirm, but 3 of them will be from the capstone project, while the remaining 9 would be individual projects. But we have shared the form. I'm not sure I've seen a lot of responses on that form. Please, if you have any projects or idea that you're working on right now, we want you to fill that form and put it there. So the deadline for this collection of ideas will be March 28th. And you know that this incubator program is not just like any other incubator program, because this is tech for good. Trust me. We have the advisory board and faculty board. We have all of that structure in place to make sure that we get the mentorship. Remember, the project you're building here, it's a green project, it's a sustainable project, it's an ethical project, and you are building it with information. You're building it with information because we have been able to learn how to put in all of these thematic areas into whatever we are building. Right now, I'm thinking if I'm designing something, you want to design even for the vulnerable people. Just like the first speaker also said, that's the kind of mindset we get to have through this boot camp. So I want to see more responses on the incubator form. I'm hoping we will all attend to that. So I think that's I've come to an end of my announcements. So I just want to hear from you all. What stage is your capstone project? Are you on a scale of 1 to 10? I want you to just drop it in the chat. What's your readiness level on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you on a 1? Are you on a 2? Or are you on an 8? Are you on 9? Are you on 10? So let me just see that in the chat section. So it's not be like I've just been talking. I want to also hear from you. All right. So also our attendance form has been dropped in the chat box. Ensure you fill the attendance form because this is what will qualify you for your certificates at the end of this boot camp. So please fill the attendance form immediately. It won't be shared after this session. So while we're doing that, I want you to drop your 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 status of your capstone project on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you with your capstone projects? I'm not seeing any engagements. I want to believe I'm audible and you all can still hear me. So let me know your readiness for the capstone presentation for next week on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, attendance form isn't taken. Tell me please, would you check the form again? So while we are trying to fix the attendance form, please drop your readiness level for the capstone project. I want to see 10. I want to see 9. I don't want to see 1 or 2 actually. So I'm waiting. I'm not seeing anybody's response yet. And if you want to tell me how ready you are, I could also allow you to unmute yourself. Am I the only one on this call? I'm not seeing any engagement yet from us. Capstone project is next week. I'm actually done with the announcement, so I'll just be what's left is for us to fill the attendance form, and I'll call our president to give us his final thoughts while we take our good pictures. But you all have not responded to me about how ready you are. Education 6. Okay. So where is energy, media, data, design, digital? I can't see you all. Yeah. I can't see your responses. Energy, digital, design. Let me know where you are for your capstone project. That's next week. We're looking forward to having your presentations. Digital is 7. Amazing. So, once we're done responding, I would be inviting our president to give us his final thoughts and, you know, closing remark, and we take our good photos. I want to believe this bootcamp has been really impactful for you all so far, as it has been for me, and I want to believe it has been impactful. Like I said, I want to believe it was really worth your time. Thank you all for showing up and being consistent. So next week is the final lap of it. I want to see you all present your amazing projects and ideas by next week. I want to also say thank you to all our speakers for your time, your commitment, and your insight. We really appreciate you. Attendance form. Yes, we'll definitely attend to it before the close of the session. All right, so I'll be inviting our president, Mr. Samuel Hefo-Sakostin, to give us his final thoughts. You know, we always want to hear from him because he's the sea himself, and the ocean never runs dry. So I'll definitely not end the session without bringing him up. So while I get to attend to the attendance form. Over to you, sir.
Hey, thanks, Mercy, and thank you, thank you. I was just trying to make sure that I'm also ready for this photograph that we're about to take. I'm acting like the ladies now and putting on my makeup. I'm only kidding. I'm not putting on my makeup. I was only just wearing my glasses so I can see and put on my camera as well. Okay. Um, I just want to say congratulations to each and every one of you. We started this journey talking about ESG. You're leaving the room now understanding more than just ESG, but you're understanding the power of design system. You're understanding the power to shape um, um, data. You understand how to influence policies, the power to decide whether technology extracts from Africa or it rebuilds it. 5 weeks ago, ESG may have sounded like a framework, but today I'm sure that it should feel more like a responsibility than just a framework. Environmental is not about carbon slide. It's about survivor and how we regenerate on Earth. Social is not about optics. It's about dignity. It's about getting everybody included. Governance is not about compliance as we know it. It's about trust architecture. How do we create an architecture that allows us to trust one another and do things better? Technology without ESG, I've said this before, would scale inequality. And if you're in my coaching session, you hear me talk about that. But technology with ESG would scale a lot of justice for Africa. Remember, I've also mentioned about ESG working for us based on the fact that our natural resources have been extracted. Can we use ESG as a justice system? These thinking I want you to take away as you go. You've spent weeks confronting hard questions. Who benefits from solutions that are being created? Who is being excluded from that? Who owns the data? What happens when there's no more money for Africa from a philanthropic or aid part of things? What breaks when scale happens, right? We've gone through all of these sessions. Those questions are not just academic. There are what we here at Tech for Good Africa focus on, which is leadership. There are leadership tests. They're testing your mindset on moving away from we being the Africans that always beg for solutions or beg for handouts to becoming the Africans that lead. So those questions are leadership questions. If they don't give us money anymore for aid, we will still fix Africa's economy. If we don't own the data, how do we then make better decisions? So the future of Africa will not just be built by people who code really fast, but it'll be built by you guys that think long term, that think about things from a long term view. It would be built by you leaders that understand that data is our infrastructure. We need to make sure data becomes infrastructure and that trust becomes our currency than the dollar. That how much dollar you have will determine how much I trust you. I'm speaking to especially to the Nigerians. It's how much money you have in your pocket that determines whether I should trust you or not. But trust should actually become our currency than the dollar itself. Accountability should become a strategy. If you know, I've spoken a lot about art and act. If you did not join the coaching session, please reach out to the team that you can watch it again and understand that accountability is a huge strategy going into the world now where everything is becoming so transparent. We're always online and so on and so forth. And most importantly, impact must be measurable. If you remember my example of I could punch you in the face and it's still impact, I could rub you in the face is also still impact, but you determine how it's measured because a punch could be that you're a boxer, but at the same time, punch could be that someone's hitting you. So you see, impact is measurable. So it's a measurable thing. So you must measure. The world is shifting towards climate accountability, responsible AI. We're seeing a lot of green finance, as we saw with Mr. Michael today, ethical innovation. We saw it with Pizzo and the grid, and how even there's a standardization to make sure that innovations are not just scattered. But Africa must not copy frameworks. Africa must design its own. As you can hear my question to Pizzo, we need to start designing our own. And I'm glad to hear that there are already some being designed. Pizzo, I'll also be in your DM. I would just like to know some of those. It looks like you have more knowledge than I am on standardization. And it has also sent me down a rabbit hole of also finding out where are the standards for economics and things like that based on what I'm doing. So I'll be in your DM just to even learn some more. But we must design our own. Hence, you're seeing us designing frameworks here like E equals MD cube, the PALS network, Echo, environment, community, and organization of a location. And we're still doing more, like the arts, the acts, and more frameworks that we're using to design our own world. That's why this your cohort matters. You're not just graduates of ESG in Tech 2.0, but you're now becoming those architects of the new economic logic. So I encourage you to join Tech for Good Africa. You have been trained to see systems, things from energy plus media plus data plus design plus digital. We've been trained to see systems like environment, community, organization. You now understand that innovation without responsibility is noise. I've mentioned this even during the coaching. If you're setting up an innovation, you're not tracking whether the people there are suffering really that problem. It just becomes noise. So you must understand that innovation without being responsible for it is noise. And innovation without governance or innovation with governance is transformation. So you must be able to govern things. You must be able to know how is this innovation being implemented? Is it being governed properly? And as you move into your capstone projects, and even some of you that will join the Green Leaders Pathway, I want you to remember this. Do not chase funding, build value. Many of you would think of, oh, I need to do this so I can chase funding and I get funding and do it. Trust me, scrap that. Be like me, build value, and funding will chase after you. Do not chase visibility because many of us want to be online. We want people to see us. We want more followers. And I would say do not chase visibility, build credibility. That's the best thing you can do. Don't chase everybody seeing you, but be more credible in one thing. I've spoken about the story of the talents. Give a guy one talent, another person two talents, another person five talents. The one person with one talent complained. Why? Because he was chasing more, being visible with more, instead of just building credibility with the one he had. He could have just built credibility with that one. So do not chase visibility, build more credibility. And finally, do not build for applause. You don't need people to clap for you. Build for longevity, that the future generations will be able to, from their hearts, praise the work that you have done. In every solution you design, I want to let you know that you must embed ethics into it from day one. Design with people, design with community, not for the community, right? Take this one very importantly. Design with the community not for the community. Make the metrics that you're doing visible. Let everybody see what metrics you're using. Many of us in Africa don't do this. If you're using a type of thinking to do a particular thing, make sure you're able to express that thinking so that other people can follow it. It could be helping you. And if you're not sharing with others, it might not be able to help them. Design with the community, make your metrics visible, make your governance transparent. As you see here in Tech for Good Africa, we create a space where everybody can lead together, whether you're ambassador, leader, partner. You already see that everybody has the same governance structure, it's very transparent. And most importantly, make your data accountable. Make sure that there's people being accountable to your data. If you see the way that we've built Echo Africa, I was sharing with the team, you have to get two people to verify what you've put on there, because we're trying to make data accountable. Again, if it was Mr. Michael that verified me on a particular platform, it makes it more credible because Mr. Michael is already working on something that has to do with recycling. If he verifies me for a climate issue or climate contribution, maybe I picked up plastic and he verified me, that data is an accountable data than just a data that just said, oh, you posted on Instagram or you took pictures. Make your data accountable. Make people verify it. If you collect data, go to organizations that can verify that data to make your data more credible. We're also thinking about that internally. Africa does not need more startups. I'm tired of seeing so much startups. We've already started so many things. I want to see more system thinkers, people that can think system. How do we bring everything together, integrate it, and make it work? You can see today that as Mr. Michael started to speak, many of you want to create that same idea. But what started to happen is that because you've been in Tech for Good Africa, you started to think system thinking. How do we integrate? And even Mr. Michael was already mentioning how you can start campaigns. So you can see that the world is moving into less starting of your own, and mostly Africa, less starting of your own, more integration, more how is this system working with this other system? Let's integrate. Africa does not need buzzwords like ESG. We need implementers of ESG, implementers of eco thinking, implementers of E equals MD cube, tech impact index. We need more implementers. And Africa does not need extractive tech like fintech that's removing our money. I'm not saying there's any problem with fintech, but it depends on the type of fintech you're building. We don't need extractive technology that can extract more from Africa. We need regenerative leadership. And leadership, I want to end today with saying leadership is not a title. It's not because they call you the president or the governor or manager that makes you a thing. Leadership is choosing to be responsible when no one else is watching. That you're there being responsible for the people of Africa. You're responsible for electricity. You're responsible for media, for data, for design, for digitalization. You're responsible for the environment or community or organization. That is what leadership is about. Leadership is designing for 10 years, not for designing for the year by year. You're not a company, you are a leader. So you must design for 10 years, not for 10 weeks, not for week one, not for only week. You know, some people design their life for the week. No, do it for 10 years. That's what makes you a leader. Leadership is also refusing shortcuts that compromises dignity. You must go for the long term. You must not pass that shortcuts. Oh, let me just pay this or let me do this. Leadership is about that, especially for leadership in Africa. Each of you now carries something powerful as we go away from here. And I'm looking forward to see your capstone next week, and just see all the amazing thing you have. You have the ability now to influence technology and shape society because you have a formula. So when anybody asks you, how do you get into tech? Tell them E equals MD cube. Have you thought about the E equals MD cube of Kenya? Have you thought about the E equals MD cube of South Africa? Have you thought about the E equals MD cube of Rwanda or Malawi or so on and so forth? You now have a way to influence how technology shapes our society. If you apply what you've learned today, trust me, I'll tell you, cities will become smarter without becoming unequal. AI can become a powerful tool without becoming biased. Climate solutions can become scalable without becoming extractive. And most importantly, capital can become profitable without becoming exploitative. This is impact. So, guys, it will be because we're leaders like you who refuse to separate technology from responsibility, which is why we win. So I'm standing firm in that calling to each and every one of you guys to build boldly, govern wisely, measure what you're doing honestly, and lead responsibly. The future is not waiting for any of us. Like they always tell us in Africa, the future is waiting for you. It's not waiting. Let us design it together. Thank you, everyone. Really, truly appreciate you. I did end up on the 1 o'clock on the dot, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week in Capstone Project and seeing all the amazing work that you've come together with. And those of you that will join us in the Green Leader Pathway in your accelerator, we're looking forward to reviewing all your applications and expanding you to more capital and more outreach out there. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you.
Good photos.
Oh yeah, let's take a photo. Yeah. So if you don't mind turning your camera, let's take a photo, the last session photo. Amazing, amazing. Rowolo testimony. I see you. Bahilu is the beards for me. I need that white on my own beards too. I'm telling you. So I'll be swagged up. Larissa looks like she's in the office, looking cool. I see. You're in the office on a Saturday. That's horrible. That's sad. I wouldn't want to be on Saturday. Okay. Bahili is with his family and they're talking in the background. Arafat looks like she's going somewhere. She's going to Owambe on a Saturday. Yes, peace. Okay, Tosin Salako, I see you as well. You're looking cool. All right, guys, it looks like nobody else is joining in. I'm going to count down to 10 seconds countdown. If you don't join the picture in the 10 seconds countdown, sorry, you're not in the photo. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's it. Done. All right, I'm taking the photo now. All right, again, we do peace sign, thumbs up. I'm doing peace sign this time. Peace sign this time. Yes. All right, 3, 2, 1. Pizzo, you just disappeared. Where did you
Oh,
go?
I'm sorry.
All right, cool. Thank you, everyone. Awesome. I got it.
Thank
Did I
you.
get everyone? Oh, no, I didn't get everyone. Michael disappeared. No, wait, one more. One more. All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Thank you much, everyone. Thanks, everybody. God bless you all. All right, I'll see you all next week, and I'm looking forward to seeing your capstone project. Over to you, Mercy.
Everybody.
Thank you so much, Bahilu. Bahilu is the most active in this class. We should give him like a badge, most active.
Welcome.
Julia, you have your hands up. Do you want to ask a question?
Yes, I want to ask. I think I didn't get the part where we were told how long the when we are presenting our capstone project, how long it will take, how many minutes we are.
Okay, so that will be sent by email. All right, so we'll
Okay.
send you an email. So each person would have, we'll send that by email. So just so you know how many minutes each of your presentation will take.
Okay. And please,
All
are we going in a particular order, or
right.
that will also be sent via email?
So I don't think you would take a particular order per se, but we'll discuss in the team whether you should take a particular order. If it is, then we'll let you know by email. If it's not, then it would be probably, as people maybe choose a number, maybe just put the democratic way. Again, everything will be communicated in the group as Messi has mentioned, if that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. God bless you all. See you next week, Saturday. Oh, and don't forget the coaching session on Monday. Please make sure you join.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. Surely He shall deliver thee